All right, today we're looking at adding fractions with unlike denominators. If you remember the last lesson that we did, we were finding out ways to find common denominators. So this lesson's going to flow right into that. In your notebook, try 1/2 plus 1/6. So if you remember, we look at the denominators, which are the bottom numbers, and we want to skip count or find the multiples of each of those. So we're taking both denominators, and we're going to skip count 2, 4, 6, 8, and we'll skip count 6, 12, 18. Now, as soon as you realize that there's a match, we want to find the lowest or smallest common match, which is why we call this the LCD, the least common denominator, the least common match. In this case, it's 6. So we want to turn each of these fractions into a sixth. So we want to make 1/2 look like a sixth, and we want to make 1/6 look like a sixth. So this is how we want to set this up. Do you remember who we called those makeup artists? Which makeup artist would they want to use? Well, 1/6 over here is pretty easy because 1/6 equals what over 6? It would still be 1. But what about this 1/2 equals something over 6? So we need a makeup artist to multiply the 1 and the 2 by. We want to think about how do you get from this number to this number using multiplication. So 2 times what equals 6? Well, I know 2 times 3 equals 6. So I'm going to use the makeup artist 3 over 3. Just as a quick review, the makeup artists are all those fractions that are equal to 1. They're going to disguise our fraction. So it's still 1/2. He just looks a little different. So 1 times 3 is 3. So 1/2 equals 3/6, 1/6 equals 1/6. And now that we have the common denominators, now we can add. We can do our 3/6 plus 1/6, and we get 4/6, which is the correct answer to this problem. We could also say 1/2 plus 1/6 equals 4/6. Now, we're also going to learn how we can simplify this fraction of 4/6. So the way to simplify is something called the greatest common factor. You might also see it as GCF, greatest common factor. And we want to list all the factors of both the numerator and the denominator. Now, the favorite way for me is doing rainbow factors. And the way we do rainbow factors, so remember we're dealing with the number 4/6 here. To do rainbow factors, we start with the factor of 1. Remember, factors are two numbers that multiply to get a product. So let's start with the numerator 4 over here. And we're just going to do 1 times 4, but we're not going to write the times symbol. And then we're going to connect these with a rainbow. And then we're going to think, okay, does the next digit, which would be 2, does 2 multiply something to get 4? And the answer is 2. So 2 times 2 equals 4. Once these numbers in the middle wind up meeting, or there's nothing in between them that can multiply to get 4 as far as whole numbers go, we know we have all of our factors. Now, because 2 is listed here twice, we only need to circle one of them, but the factors of 4 would be 1, 2, and 4. Those are the only 3 whole numbers that can multiply to get 4. Over here, we're going to try 6. So we're going to do 1 times 6 is 6. Now, does 2 multiply anything to get 6? Yep, 2 and 3. 2 times 3, and because there's no whole numbers between 2 and 3, we know our factors are finished. 1, 2, 3, and 6. If you want to put commas in between here, just to separate them so you don't think this is 12, you could put commas too, or just rewrite them down here. 1, 2, 3, 6, and 1, 2, 4. Now we want to find the greatest common factor. The greatest. What's the biggest number on each side that matches? Because if it was the smallest, it would always be 1, because 1 is always a factor. So now we want the greatest, which in this case would be 2. So we're going to divide the top and bottom by 2. And we are going to get 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 4/6 simplified is 2/3.